Spire.
Welcome back to the Kidney Stone Diet Podcast, the show about reducing your risk for kidney stones and living your best life. I'm your host and fellow student, Jeff Saris.
And here I am, Jill Harris, and I'm happy to be here, I must say.
Oh, and I just remembered the other day in an email, you mentioned the Turn It Around Buster Brown. I had no idea that that was a specific brand or anything.
Yes, because you're too young. And also, I'm Jill Harris, a kidney stone prevention nurse. They're like, who the hell are you? Okay, so Turn It Around Buster Brown. I think, look, most of my kidney stone patients are my age. And so I'm looking at 60. And so it's, between 40, 75 are kidney stone patients. So a lot of them, when we grew up, our moms took us to the shoe store, and there was a shoe brand called Buster Brown. And it was this little boy with this funny little hat and his little dog. And so I don't know. And it would look like there were little white shoes that we all wore. They're hideous if you look back. It's the kind of shoe that your mother bronzed when you were little. Anyway, so my demographic has grown up with Buster Brown. So when I say Turn Around Buster Brown on a nutrition label, I think they laugh because it's nostalgic, right? So I'm like, okay, we need to take me and Luke is my chocolate lab, and we need to put us on a mug and say, Turn It Around Buster Brown or something. And people will get it because they're old like me. They understand it. It's a big deal. Everyone had Buster Brown shoes. I'm not going to wear that stupid hat he wore. Google it, people. Buster Brown shoes, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I'll wear a baseball cap or something. And Luke, my beautiful 90-pound chocolate lab, he'll be with me. It will be hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where is he today? He's not over your shoulder.
Oh, he's right there. Usually, listen, if I was on the floor, he'd be sitting on my lap. I'm like, listen, dude, you're not a poodle. You're 90 pounds. He's right here. He is very codependent. The apartment we live in is 700 square feet. And when I tell you, if I move 5 inches, that dog, I can't tell you how many times I've almost fallen over him. He is always by my side. And so I get annoyed a lot, I have to say. Don't get mad at me, pet people. I'm a pet person. But sometimes I holler at him. And then I feel very bad about it. And then, if he's not right at my feet, I get sad. So we're both codependent. It's not one-sided. I can assure you it's not.
Yeah.
But he's right here.
Yeah, there's something just about the... I mean, because Alpha, my cat, he's like the same way. It's when we're recording, I tell him, I literally talk to him and just okay, I'm recording now. We can't cuddle. He'd be on my lap. As soon as we end, I don't know how he knows, but as soon as we're done recording, he comes in here, starts meowing, and jumps on my lap. It's the strangest thing.
They know. They know. And yes, I know you talk to your cat. I talk to my dog. You would think there's a family of 5 living with me in here. My neighbors must be like, who the hell does she have in there now? It's just Luke. It's very scary. Sometimes my son, of course, my son is also here. But I'm saying when my son's at school, it's just me and Luke. You would think there's a party going on. It's just us giggling, laughing, reminiscing. It's ridiculous.
I love it.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Well, hey, Jeff, sometimes when I'm walking him, because I live right on Lakeshore Drive and then also a park, hence the really tiny apartment, but, a beautiful view. Right. So that's why you got to make priorities. My view is my priority. My living space, not so much. I'm a small person. I don't need a lot of space. But sometimes I know that people are like, oh, Tom, here she comes, that old lady with that stupid dog. Look at them laughing, talking. They're crazy. I don't care. I talk to him in front of anybody. I do not care. We have a relationship. We do. I know it's sad, but I don't care. It makes me very happy.
I think it's shocking, really, the level of and we'll get to kidney stones in a moment. Everyone who's listening, but
what the hell?
The level of relationship and rapport you build with animals, like pets, it's mind blowing. It's really to a degree that's beyond what feels like should be possible.
It is. And, look, first of all, we're projecting all of our feelings onto these poor little furry things. Of course we are. But I swear to God, there's been many times Luke has whispered things and I've heard every word. And he does. My dog laughs. I don't care what anybody says. He giggles. He does. He's the first thing I do when I wake up. I say, good morning, Luke. And I'm telling you the day that he's not next to me and I don't, it's going to be very difficult. We ain't going to be taping shows that week. I can assure you about that.
Oh yeah.
So I don't think about it, but he's getting as much gray as me. I have to Madison Reed his head as well as mine now. Terrible.
Not a sponsor, but
Not a sponsor. No, not a sponsor. God.
Alrighty. So
all right,
let's
kidney stone stuff.
dive right into this week's question from
Okay.
it looks like Candy.
Candy, okay.
Hi, my name's Candy, and I live in Grand Ronde, Oregon. And my question, I'm new with the diet. I've had problems with one big kidney stone. Anyway, so I'm hypoglycemic, and I eat. My thing has always been to eat a little bit of almond butter. I used to eat a lot of almond butter. Now I've cut it way back, and I'm eating it with with yogurt. Will that offset each other so that I can make that part of my, if I need to start having low blood sugar, I can pop in a bite of almond butter and, and then a few bites of yogurt. Will that work? Thank you so much. I love to hear about it soon. Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Sorry, Candy. I know she can't hear me, but I interrupted her. First of all, I love her name, Candy. That's joyful and happy. Second of all, it's a beautiful question. I love talking about diabetes and kidney stone diet because I'm not a special nurse in diabetes. I'm a special nurse in kidney stone stuff. But often I am working with people who have both. Okay. So it's not uncommon for people who have kidney stones to also have diabetes. So many patients feel very frustrated by the fact that they have both. And it seems to them upon first inspection that the two diets are not going to mesh. Why? Because they have been told, look, you have diabetes, have almonds, have spinach, have almonds. They're great to get your blood sugar up. They're a high fiber food. They're healthy fats. Have them. So when we tell patients to have something, again, I will say this, what does that exactly mean? When patients are told they can have something and also that something is healthy, we as human beings tend to think the more we have of that food, the healthy food, the more health we'll have. And also, it's free calories, 0 calories, right? Because it's just healthy. I mean, nuts are very caloric. I don't want to get into it with keto people or anything else. I'm just saying, I've had a lot of patients that say, hey, I'm doing this, but I'm not losing weight. They said I'd lose weight. Well, you're eating 2 bags of nuts a day. There's hundreds of calories and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Anyway, I digress. So for diabetics who are using almond butter to get their blood sugar up, she said she's hypoglycemic, so she's trying to get her blood sugar up. She's not necessarily diabetic. Is that correct? She just said hypoglycemic.
Yeah,
it
sounded
correct?
Like hypo.
Yeah,
it's tough. We get a transcript from these voicemails, but sometimes it's a little hard to pick up just because of the cell phone quality. But I'm pretty sure she said hypo.
Yeah, okay. So she's not necessarily diabetic at all, but I'm just saying I love working with patients that are diabetic and have kidney stones because they think they can't have all these foods. You certainly can. Now, for Candy, who is dealing with low blood sugar, she is saying that the almond butter is helping her get her sugar up. So she feels better. What I would do is, and she's also a kidney stone former, what I would do is I would trade that out for sun butter. And I'm going to say that because we know sun butter is a lot lower in oxalate because sunflower seeds are a lot lower. I also would say, you can also choose another food that will get your blood sugar up. It doesn't have to be any of those nut butters, but sunflower butter would be a lot better. Now, that being said, often people will think they can't have almond butter. They can't have peanut butter. I'd rather almond products be taken off the table. They are just too high. And because there's other options out there, why don't we use those instead? I sleep better. And when I sleep better, I have more energy the next day to do more kidney stone stuff. So let's have me sleep better. I would feel very reckless if I said have the almond butter, even if you did limit yourselves to it. I don't like it. It's just too high. Have some butter. Even have peanut butter. Jill, peanut butter's high in oxalate. You can have 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. It's only 26 milligrams of oxalate. If most of you get 100 milligrams a day, you can certainly have it. Now, her other part of the question was, I'm having it with Greek yogurt. So how much does that cancel it out? It's too hard to tell. Why? I know you hate that answer, Candy, but the reason is this. We all absorb things differently. Whenever you have calcium with a high oxalate product, it will lower your oxalate, but exactly how much? I don't know. Maybe you have Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. Maybe you've had a gastric bypass. Maybe you have other malabsorption issues. You may not be absorbing things like Jeff does or Candy does or anybody else. So everybody's different. There's no exact science. Now, you may say, but you're saying all the things that you say is drenched in science. If you go to Dr. Coe, C-O-E, his site, or you put Dr. Coe and kidney stones, you'll see all kinds of research on from all different kinds of kidney stone researchers saying that when you have more calcium, you will lower your oxalate. Yes, but they had to research that in like really big amounts to be able to see exactly how much or how it lowered. So they give somebody an exorbitant amount of oxalate and calcium and then see what happens after. It's not just, sticking to the 100 milligrams of oxalate and sticking to, it's just hard to do that. So get your calcium throughout the day. Of course, that's going to lower the oxalate that your body is absorbing for sure. Okay. We know this, but I don't like you having almond anything, Candy. I don't. Use other products like sun butter. You could even use peanut butter. It's not a problem. And yes, if you are going to have peanut butter, make sure you do have a little yogurt with it. But also, wouldn't necessarily have to. Okay, if you do get 100 milligrams of oxalate a day, and I'm being conservative. Dr. Coe was always like, you're being conservative on that 100 milligrams of oxalate, but I want to make sure at the end of the day, I don't have any patients going, oh my God, it's so hard. It's not. Once you take away spinach and almonds in any amount that you want, which most of you were doing, along with the even more important part of not getting enough calcium, that's the perfect storm. So it doesn't mean you can never have peanut butter again. It does mean I do take away spinach and almond products. Pretty much though, everything else is on the table. I take away a handful of things. And you can find those things on kidneystonediet.com. If you go to the start page, you're going to see the safe oxalate list and the whole oxalate list. The oxalate list is from Harvard. And I took the Harvard list, that's up there, but I also took away the highest oxalate foods. And guess what? There's still 27 pages on both lists have 27 pages. So I only took away a few foods. Get that resource, please, on my website. Of course, it's free. So Candy, I'd rather you not have almond butter. Choose another like sun butter or even peanut butter if your blood sugar is going low. That would make me a lot happier and it would really help your oxalate levels.
Yeah. For my own curiosity, I haven't really looked. Cashews, because it's cashew butter, which is something I like. Are they high? Yeah,
they're high. Mm-hmm. They're high. Yeah, pretty much any. So here are the nuts that, as long as you keep within portion size on the Kidney Stone diet, you can fit pecans. And often my meal plans on the kidneystonediet.com site, I have a meal plan service. And I know when I make one of the meals with some pecans, I know people are like, what the hell is she thinking? But I always have with each recipe, the Kidney Stone Diet Prevention Safety Tips on each recipe will explain why I use almonds, how little oxalate if it's in portion. I paired it with calcium and all kinds of tips and tricks with each recipe to teach you. But you can have sunflower seeds, you can have flax seeds, you can have pecans, and you can have walnuts. You can have all those things. You really can. And you could have a couple cashews. But to me, some of these nuts, like almonds and cashews, what's the point in opening up that bag? You really can have so little because they're so high. So I take them away because nobody ever said, Henry, get me one nut. Just one, Henry. I'm watching it. One. No one said that. They have handfuls of nuts. That's what people do. So walnuts, pecans, sunflower seeds, sun butter, peanut butter, of course. Look at the portion sizes. Look at the portion sizes. You could even have walnuts. Look at the portion sizes on the Harvard list at kidneystonediet.com start page, and you'll see the portion sizes that you can have. Get your calcium every single day. I can't tell you how important it is to get your calcium every single day. Plus, people, you have a skeleton that you need to feed. So it's important that you're getting sources of calcium. It does not have to be dairy. You can get it from non-dairy sources as well. I also have a great free article. All these things are free, of course, I'm pointing out on my blog, kidneystonediet.com blog. You're going to see non-dairy sources to get your calcium, something like that. An article. It has a bunch of cows on it. I love that article. And those are non-dairy ways to get calcium. You don't have to use dairy if you don't use dairy.
Yeah, we also have a full episode earlier in this season all about that. So if you go back, if you're already subscribed, you can just swipe up in your app or check out the rest of the YouTube channel, the playlist there where you'll find, I wish I remembered the name of it offhand, but yeah, we dove into calcium. We've talked about calcium quite a bit, but yeah, we have some deep dives there as well. So and be sure to check out kidneystonediet.com to find all those resources that Jill mentioned. So yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap for this week.
That was great, Candy. I love that question. I loved it.
Yeah, and if you have a question of your own, the phone number is 773-789-8763. And we will feature your voicemail on a future episode of the show. So thanks again for listening, and we will see you 1 week from today.
Okay, and everybody give your pets an extra hug and an extra kiss from Jeff and Jill today. Okay, so this is the pet episode.
Yeah, there you go.
And you know what? It's the pet episode. And if you want to do a shout out to your pet in the comments, God, nothing makes me happier. Let's do it, people. On the Facebook page, I'm always like, I'm having a bad day, so show some pictures of pets, and there'll be like hundreds of them. I love that. Nothing makes me happier. So, and if you don't have a pet, shout out your kid's name. I'll send them a heart. Why not?
Yeah. And on the Facebook group, there's a lot of the Facebook group is the Kidney Stone Prevention Group. If you want to find it, it's another free resource. But yeah, there's a lot of kidney stone talk, but then just the fun, pet talk and other things as well, because there's so much more to life than just the one thing.
Yes, when I was going through my cancer, I really like to laugh when I'm going through adversity in my life. And so you may say, well, that's the unfunniest time of your life. But I mean, you got to make fun of things. You've got to laugh. So there's some people that are like, we're talking about our kidney stones. Why is she putting funnies on here? Because you know what? When you've been sick or when you're going through hard times, laughter really is the best medicine. I know it's so cliche, but it has gotten me through so much in my life. So man, life is hard. You got to laugh too. You got to be fun and you got to have laughs, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, thanks again for listening, and we will talk to you next time.
Bye guys. Thanks, Candy.